Good day, South Africa. This is Lumpsum principal property practitioner for BlackProp. I'm also an authorized or licensed financial advisor. So today we're talking property. Yesterday or in my previous recording, I was actually discussing how additional payments from as little as 100 Rand can impact on your bond positively in terms of reducing the term and end up reducing the total interest that you could have paid. For instance, for a bond of 700,000, in a space of 20 years, you will end up paying 1.8 million. So there is more than 1.1 million of interest. Remember, when it comes to property, interest is added daily. You understand? So I've been like in various discussions and debates with the banking sector regarding the fact that if you are able to add interest daily, like on my bond, the interest is mostly added daily. That is why for the most like first 12 years, you are more like paying for interest as smaller money goes to capital. So let's say for a 700,000 property, if your bond repayment is 7.5, do you know that in 8 years you would have paid already the 700,000? That is the current bond debt. It takes you 8 years to cover that. But how about these other 12 years? It's interest. But when it comes to interest, understand that more money goes towards what? Goes towards the paying interest, and then a little amount goes towards capital. That's what you need to understand. All right, now talking about additional payments. On my previous recording, I was talking about adding from as little as 100 Rand to a point where you double up your payment, and when you double up your bond repayments, you can actually finish any bond amount debt in 5 years, 2 months. So in 5 years, you can be in a position to pay off your bond if you are doubling up bond repayment. If your bond repayment is 10,000, instead of paying 10,000 every month, you pay 20,000. Then that means in 20 years, not in 20 years, in 5 years, you will be done. You'll be done. All right. But someone with an excess or a flexi bond can pay like that. At some point, you can be able to withdraw from that amount. But on my next video, because I'm making another promise, I'll be talking about how to buy multiple properties using one bond. But today, I'm responding to one question. How much impact can it be if I add a lump sum? All right. So let's say you have a bond of 700,000 and you decide to add like 10,000 lump sum on from your bonus. So the impact of 10,000 lump sum will actually reduce your loan term by 1 year and 1 month. It means the remaining loan term will be 18 years and 11 months. And let me check in terms of interest. Remember, you are adding 10,000 once off. But the amount of money you can save on interest that could have been added is 97,000 when I'm talking about a bond of 700,000. But someone will say, no, you know what? Maybe in a space of a year, I may like to just add a once-off of 20,000. By adding a once-off of 20,000 on a 700,000 bond, it means you will save 184,000, the money that you could have paid on interest. By just adding 20,000 once off, remember, once off, you are reducing your loan term by 2 years and your remaining loan term will be 18 years. Remember, instead of paying 1.1 million for a bond of 700,000, the interest you end up paying is 956,000. That is the impact of a lump sum. and you can add a lump sum annually, but it's just a once-off lump sum that you can add at any given moment. Obviously, you can be like, let's say you are 10 years towards your bond. To calculate that, we want to know how much you have paid already or how much capital is remaining. That is also available on your app. Remember, if you are banking with the same bank or you have a personal account with your bond holder, then you can also add your bond on your app so that you can be managing it via your app. But for someone who can say, you know what, Sboniso, I can add a lump sum of 50,000 at any given moment. You may not have a deposit for your bank, or the bank can give you 100% bond. But down the line, you decide, you know what, if I can, let me say, if I can add a lump sum at any given moment, let's say on your 700,000 bond, you are adding 50,000 once off. 50,000 once off. That will reduce your loan term by 4 years, 4 months. You will be saving like 400,000. That could be added on interest if you didn't put the 50,000 lump sum. And instead of paying a total interest of 1.1 million, total interest will be 700,000. So, and your loan term, your remaining loan term will be like 15 years, 8 months by adding just 50,000 once off. But let me talk about someone who was having 100,000, because people, they do have money. They do have money. And I'm telling you, because when I ask people how much you've been scammed, someone will say, I lost 100,000 in this truck deal or in this crypto thing that was a fly by night or any other thing. And people have got a lot of money. You've invested 200,000, you lost it. Just imagine taking that 100,000 and putting towards your bond. And you will reduce your loan term by 7 years, 3 months. You save on interest 660,000. Remaining loan term is 12 years, 9 months by putting a lump sum. Let me say, I will stop at 100,000 because someone will say, Sboni, so what if I am adding 10,000 this year, another 10,000 and 10,000 every year? That will also always be recalculated as you add. But guys, if you have a lump sum from your bonus or any savings and you want to put towards your bond, you can do that. And I've been teaching this from 2016. And people who've been understanding all these various strategies didn't suffer during the COVID times when income was mostly reduced and interest rates are already up, but people were able to even access those additional amounts because it's an excess bond, meaning you can access it. We're able to withdraw from those flexi or excess bonds to also be in a position to pay your bond from the money that you've already withdrawn from your bond. It's about flexibility. But one thing I have as an advice or a problem with you, sometimes you take bankers religiously. Anything that the banker is saying, you take it religiously. Everyone working for a bank must speak a vocabulary that support the bank. I'm not against the banks, but sometimes you must think like a bank as well. And then play the same game they are playing. All right? But that will be a topic for another day. But for today, we will end it here. But as I am closing this, if you have a lump sum of 200,000, you reduce your loan term by 11 years, 1 month, you save 1 million. 1 million. You end up paying an interest of 300,000 instead of paying 1.1 million. Remember, for a bond of 700,000, total interest in 20 years is 1.8 million. It's more like 2 properties and a half that you are buying. That's how it works, guys. But if you occasionally add a lump sum, it reduces your loan term drastically. At the very same time, it will help you save on the amount that you could have paid on interest by just adding this small amount. By adding 200,000 on a 700,000 bond, you save $1 million. $1 million that you could have paid on interest. Let me repeat this. For a 700,000 bond, in 20 years, you would pay 1.8 million at a current interest rate of 11.75%, because the interest rate can also change. On my other broadcast, I will talk about the difference between variable and fixed interest rate, how you can actually change from fixed to variable or change from variable to fixed. Those are the topics that we are still yet to discuss. But make sure that you subscribe on our YouTube channel, Money Republic Education, because we upload the whole of these discussions on our YouTube channel for everyone to access them and download them and share with your friends. Other than that, if you are in the market looking to buy property or you are looking to sell, contact us as BlackProp. We operate in Western Cape, in Gauteng, in KZN, and Eastern Cape and Mpumalanga for now. So we have visual agencies across other towns, but be in contact with us so that we assist you sell your property at a high value, shortest time possible. God bless you. Contact me on 073 282 5969. Bye-bye.